sliding out, that's Valtteri Bottas! Bottas is out of the race!
You can see the slightly damper track there, just enough to loosen off the heavily loaded left rear tyre. Straight
Someone
to
is
the
in the
scene of
wall,
the accident.
and it's Williams right in front of our commentary box. It's Robert Kubica, and we can see there a red flag already. Robert Kubica in the Williams, and a strange place, Paul, for a car to have an accident. Let's just have a little look. He's got on the grass. Oh, once you get on the grass, Paul, there's no escaping.
No, it's not like a car snapped or anything. He just ran out of road, didn't he?
Oh dear. And this is Robert Kubica, who was retired, if you remember, from Sochi, because the team were worried about spare parts. We're trying to make sure they didn't run out of spare parts.
You okay, Robert?
Yeah, I'm okay, please.
The session ended badly for Racing Point's Lance Stroll. A touch of the grass at turn 9 saw the Canadian crash and take a taxi
And Grosjean's
to the
out.
pits.
Grosjean's out of this race on a track you can say is not one of his favourites in the world. Only 1 point finish.
Oh, it's a heavy impact, that. There's Giovinazzi. He's up the inside. Oh, Ricciardo's on the inside of Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi has nowhere to go. Ricciardo's got nowhere to go. And Grosjean, he's unexpected. Probably hasn't been able to see. You're going 3 cars abreast, and he's been the unlucky one. I don't really think anybody's at fault there. I think that's just a racing incident.
A dramatic start to second practice in Brazil. Robert Kubica finding the wall as he navigated the Senna S on just his second lap of the session. Another late night in store for the Williams mechanics. Championship leader Lewis Hamilton smashed into the barriers at turn 12 in final practice at the Belgian Grand Prix.
I'm in the wall, guys. Sorry.
The British driver dropped a rear wheel onto the curb and lost control of his Mercedes, crunching into the tyres and bringing out the red flag. Final practice at the Shanghai International Circuit ended in dramatic fashion as Alexander Albon, pushing his Toro Rosso to the limit, went wide at the final turn, lost control, span through the gravel and collided heavily with the wall, ending the session and possibly his hopes of making qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix.
Albon leads across the line. That's a crash, and it is the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. And that's going to compromise his teammate Romain Grosjean, who is the next to cross the line. And that is a big accident there for Kevin Magnussen, who lost it out of the final chicane and then slewed across the track and straight into the pit wall. Well, let's just have a look here then. Takes a bit of curb. Oh. And absolutely no avoiding that whatsoever.
He'd got it all lit up. He was driving for the line, but he's hit the wall at a sort of a 20-30 degree angle that's ripped the suspension and broken the wheel, and he still kept his foot in.
There, Raikkonen getting a bit of a toe, and there's another big crash. It is Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari as his teammate Sebastian Vettel goes past and tries to avoid the debris.
I am stupid. I switch off everything.
We'll just see here, is he going to touch the inside? Oh, he's blocked the front.
Too much speed approaching the corner.
Yeah, and he didn't bail out, did he?
Oh, Charles Leclerc, you have to feel for the young man, 21 years of age. Goes to 16th, and Grosjean can't get out of Q1, and that is a very big bang into the walls indeed, and that will bring out the red flag. It's down at the tightest part of this into the barrier.
It's Kubica. I can see Russell on the driver tracker.
At the bottom of the castle section. This is what happened to Robert Kubica.
Wow, he was very committed to the inside curve there. I know they've all been jumping it, but he was almost touching the wall on the inside, wasn't he?
Valtteri Bottas, back on his Spec 2 power unit for the afternoon, set the early pace and led the timings at the halfway point. But his luck ran out as he lost control out at turn 6, hitting the barriers hard. The Finn wasn't the only...
Perez very late on the brakes, gets ahead, and Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault, and Kvyat's gone into Norris, and they're out of the race, and Sainz has picked up damage as well. This is what it looked like on board Lando Norris's McLaren, and you probably just lifted off the sofa in unison with the McLaren doing a little bunny hop there. Two Hasses running side by side, and then Danny Kvyat into Sainz, into Norris. Sebastian Vettel tucks in behind Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton on the inside, trying to get in. Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen has been made contact with and is bouncing over the curb, as is Nico Hülkenberg back there in the Renault as well. well into fourth. And that is out. That is Max Verstappen out already. And you can hear the groans. Let's have a look here on the inside. Raikkonen and Verstappen, that's where the contact was made there.
That could well have damaged the steering rod. That's the risk of La Source. Max will have to take the blame for that one, I'm afraid. He's got, look, you can see his steering's not activating as it is. It goes at the top of the hill. Well, he nearly took somebody else with him.
Charles Leclerc standing on the top of the podium for the first time ever would be a pretty good high. That is the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi, and he's gone off at Pouhon.
He dropped it mid-corner, that's unusual.
Yeah.
Antonio, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Brilliant. Brilliant news. He crosses the line, stays second fastest. And there is the Mercedes. Well, the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas through the Peraltada has gone into the barrier. That is qualifying over because no one's going to improve their lap time now because the yellow flags are being waved. Valtteri Bottas has hit the barriers and Max Verstappen will take pole position 12 months here in Mexico after he was denied by his teammate at the time. Today he makes it count.
You okay, Valtteri? Yep. Okay, so the car is safe.
He's had a big knock then, hasn't he,
Yeah.
with that heavy breathing. Max has just done a personal best through the final sector, fastest of anybody, passing a yellow flag.
Oh dear. Did he catch the curb there? He did,
Yeah, and then that piece of barrier sticks out, doesn't it? The polystyrene bit that eventually hits sticks out.
And that will be why, Martin, he's breathing very heavily there, because that's a very sudden stop.
Yeah.